Good day to you, citizens of the galaxy. This is James with your TI report. A new age has dawned and a new emperor has been crowned. And as we enjoy this time of peace, we look back on how empire has returned to the galaxy. The dark years drew to a close with 6 great houses vying to replace the Lazaks. As the conflict began, a strange transmission was received from deep uncharted space. Apparently a computer virus had gained sentience and was bent on domination of all sentient life. All free people watched in horror as a distorted image, calling itself Russell, demanded that all bow before his dominance. Kiron EB looked for ways to profit from the panic. Surely his skill at deal-making could make a friend out of any foe. Another artificial faction was determined to rule with a metallic fist. Chancellor Will, the L1Z1X, was confident that his fleet of dreadnoughts would blast any who would oppose him. From swampy Reptilion, Seacark Randy would look to move in secret amongst the other houses. Fearing outright war with his neighbor, Randy hoped that uncanny tactics would be the difference for his people. Admiral Tommy led his people from the shadows of the galaxy and was resolute in his desire to have the Tsar acknowledged as a great race he knew they were. But the Admiral knew he had to act quickly before other houses grew in strength. And finally, Kesh Shish led the Nalu with sharp intent. She would have to act with caution and tact as the Necro and Sar threats drew close. Would one of these factions lead the galaxy out of the dark years and into an age of light? Only time would tell. Space Year 1 began in peace, with each faction looking on at the planets surrounding them. Ambition propelled them from their home systems in the name of conquest. Tommy would begin his climb to power with a swift incursion into the system adjacent to the Nalu homeworld. The other factions looked on in fear as Sar was able to score, negotiate trade routes, as well as threaten enemies, putting Tommy in the lead. Russell and EB each scored a point, with Necro taking the lead from the front and EB taking negotiate trade routes. Space Year Round 2 would be a year of negotiation amongst the houses. Nalu offered a lone destroyer to the Necro in order to hopefully curry favor with the virus. EB began offering lucrative deals to his cybernetic neighbors, Necro and L1, hoping they would move on to other targets. And Randy, seeing the dreaded Sar Ball move closer to him, offered an exchange of supports for the throne, hoping to keep his people safe from war. Despite the flurry of deal-making, Nalu would draw first blood in the conflict, hoping to deal with the Sar stationed at Vetfoot near his home system.
Wait, he's taking your Vetfoot?
It's not pointless.
Wait, where's this happening?
It's not pointless, okay?
Yeah.
I need it. I'm really sending.
Dude, are you gonna let James have your backfield?
It's not a back. I'm taking one planet, Randy. Hold your horses.
There are 2 planets there.
There's one planet in Vetfoot.
Oh, so we have to decide now if we want to retreat the ships, right?
That is correct. You can retreat.
But it's still got a free shot.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's how we want to do it. I'll leave. Okay, I'll leave one here.
I will declare a retreat.
Okay. Let's see if I blow them up. Okay, my fighters hit on 8s. So he's dead.
Do I get an attack?
You do get an attack.
I get to fire 1 shot.
Yes.
Take a damage.
The useless battle of Vetfoot.
It wasn't useless. Yeah, only I get to say useless. Stop calling my battles useless. All right.
Okay, can I go for the disappointing battle of Vetfoot too?
It was an anticlimactic. It wasn't even. Yeah.
It was like going to war with the French.
It was hardly a bar fight. It was hardly like a school kid. No, you didn't tag me.
James's stupid battle of Barefoot.
It's Barefoot 1. Have some pride.
So that's 0.
That's
Not barefoot. Yeah, hillbilly.
It's Vefoot.
Yeah, the foot. French for the foot.
Vefoot.
That's awesome. So is it Randy's turn?
At the end of the round, L1 and Yasaro were able to score, lead from the front, keeping the group of would-be emperors close. Space Year Round 3 would see the war grind to a halt. EB's trading with his neighbors had indeed kept them at bay, but Necro and L1 would have trouble finding other avenues of expansion. Kesh had developed the Neuroglaive, keeping Russell out of Nalu's space. Will had trouble finding a way to cross the chasm of empty space between him and Randy, and the Asaro-Sar alliance held, But Randy had few options for expansion as Tommy carved a massive fleet in front of Yssaril territory in its way to Mechatol. Tommy would claim the Jewel of the Galaxy, claiming a victory point for the Tsar. By the end of the round, Tommy would also score Lead from the Front, zooming ahead to 5 points. EB scored Sway the Council, and Will and Randy both scored Negotiate Trade Routes, as all the factions hoped to keep pace with Tommy. Space Year Round 4 was a crucial year in the fight for control of the throne. Tsar would remain ascendant, gaining a point from the Imperial strategy card. The other factions would have to figure out a way to stop Tommy before it was too late. Nalu and Yssaril began gobbling up territory left unguarded by the Tsar, hoping to weaken the Bears. Necro began building a sizable fleet at Mahar Sul, hoping to take Mechatol at the slightest sign of weakness. Later in the year, border clashes would break out between Yssaril and Elwyn, as Randy ordered troops to take Lazar from the cyborgs. Will was unable to counterattack as he had spent the year building 5 dreadnoughts in order to score a secret objective. In the agenda phase, a powerful and dynamic docket was presented. First, the houses had to decide who would receive the Prophecy of Zith. Seeing Nalu as the weakest faction, the houses voted to give it to her, and Kesh smiled with dark intent. And then, a breathless Wenarian burst through the door. A Zithian artifact had been discovered. A truly powerful and dangerous thing. But what would the houses do? Tommy quickly opposed opening it, fearing that his giant armada of ships would be destroyed. But unfortunately for him, the houses disagreed. Tommy then reached to open the ancient seal.
And as a group.
Are you punching
What?
right now?
What?
I want you to know that I savor your hate.
Good.
Like,
I'll tell you
I
what,
miss you.
it has a flavor. It has a flavor.
Okay, wait.
It has a
Please
flavor.
let Tommy roll the die. Can Tommy roll for his own doom?
That seems fucked up.
That's me. It's your
Do you want to throw the switch on the chair you're sitting in?
Kind of. Versus you doing it? Yeah.
You want me to do it?
Actually,
You want to
yeah.
do it?
Yeah.
All right, so you're kind of strapped in. Here's a stick. Just kind of hit the switch from where you're at.
Versus you rolling my fate.
Let's make sure we know what the
Okay,
numbers
6 to 10. You live and you get tech.
moment of truth. Are you recording?
Fuck yes, I'm recording. We had a really long debate about this.
Do you want to get
I kind of
I need to see
do.
this with my own eyes.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, here we go.
Okay,
Zithian artifact.
Okay, but
Zithian artifact. Roll the dice, Tommy.
which one?
Oh, please. Your whole life.
Hey.
All right. Tech for everyone.
Tech, right?
Tech for everyone.
As the final years of the conflict drug on, the galaxy descended into all-out war. The factions threw off their masks of diplomacy, revealing grotesque faces of violence. Tsar would leave Mechatol in an effort to claim the Necro homeworld. Would he be able to score any points in round 5? No, but he was able to score Intimidate Council in round 6, and also close all of the asteroid fields surrounding Mechatol via chaos mapping. Necro took the now vacant Mechatol in round 5, scoring an Imperial point and negotiate trade routes in round. He was able to score Erect a Monument in round 6 as Russell began closing his defenses in hopes of stalling the Tsar attack on his home system. Hakan was stalled between the Robog neighbors during round 1, but EB found a way to advance his claim to the throne by scoring Intimidate Council and Fuel the War Machine in round 6. Will hurled his new dreadnoughts at the Yssaril, taking Reptilian and scoring Conquer the Weak in round 5. Pushing further, he began to head towards the disputed Tsar territory and scored Sway the Council in round 6. Randy was still able to advance despite losing his home system. Yssaril was able to establish a perimeter in round 5, turning Abyss Freya into a well-armed base. Randy then took his home system, scoring Unveiled Flagship, as well as form a spy network in the status phase of round 6. And Nalu was finally able to advance, making a support for the throne trade with Hakan. She was able to also score Intimidate Council and Master the Laws of Physics in the end of round 5, and in round 6, she ordered the Matriarch into Mechatol, surrounded by advanced fighters and the Prophecy of Zith. The Necro fleet stationed there proved to be no match, and Kesh took the throne of the galaxy, scoring an Imperial point, as well as control the region. At the start of round 7, the factions all geared for war. The coming year seemed to point to more blood. However, as Nalu held the initiative, she quickly used the Imperial strategy, scoring an Imperial point as well as conquer the weak due to her position on Sar's homeworld. Nalu moved to 9 points and held enough trade goods to score and negotiate trade routes in the status phase. Unable to see a way to stop the Nalu, the other factions agreed that the galaxy had been conquered, and Kesh was the conqueror. Congratulations to our new Empress, Keshish of the Nalu. May her reign last forever. I'm James with TI Reports.